Damian Barling's here, D'Lo and Casey. They're coming up here at noon. A tough one for the Kings last night, man.
Yeah, it is. Well, first of all, send some love to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely tragic.
That story's tough.
Yeah.
Tough. Yeah, it was a bad loss. It's difficult. I don't know what to say at this point about this team. They're finding different ways to lose games. Like in the last 3 games, they get blown out by Philadelphia. They lose an incredibly competitive buzzer beater game against the Bucks, but a game that they were in firm control of. I know this phrase is silly, but like they were in control of whether they won or lost.
Yeah.
With one of the most fundamental things that you do on a basketball floor on the free throw line. And then to watch what happened last night, I just shook my head. It's like, this is incredible. They blew a 20-something point lead in 6 minutes. Man. Like, they threw the ball out of bounds repeatedly. They showed no urgency. They just stopped doing everything that got them that 22-point lead. And, whether it's mental toughness, whether they're soft, whether they're entitled, I don't know what it is. I don't know what to say about this basketball team anymore. We're going to spend 4 hours trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But, they're in the play-in now for the first time. They've slipped out of the top 6.
Yeah.
They've flirted with danger for too long. They've relied on teams like the Pelicans losing. Now you got a team like Phoenix who's starting to creep up on them. You've put yourself in a position where, now you at some point you're going to have to string some wins together.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you're going to have to win some games that you didn't. This isn't a team that's going to miss the playoffs in terms of the postseason. Like they're not going to miss the top 10.
Right. Yeah.
But they could very, very easily be a team that has to win in the play-in tournament to get back to the playoffs.
Yeah, but if they don't fix something, for sure. I think last night, and James and I talked about this a lot, and I'm interested to get your thoughts on it. Last night, so much of it to me was A, Domantas Sabonis not being involved late, and B, to me, that's where he has to demand the basketball. Like, he has to be the guy who says, "Hey, Kevin Durant is a good defender." This is not to say that Kevin Durant is bad, but Domantas Sabonis can get him into the post and move him.
Mm-hmm.
He should be able to get easy buckets in a spot where there were so many times last night where, okay, they cut it to 12. It's like, okay, Kings get a bucket and a stop, they're good. Is it a bucket? Okay, they're done. Okay, bucket, maybe a couple stops and you're good. And they just never got the bucket.
Keegan Murray got an offensive rebound with like a minute left, a little over a minute. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, they were up 3 at the point. I was like, that's it. Okay, settle down, take time off the clock. You get a basket, you're fine. This sucks. To be clear, this is terrible. But you're going to win this game, and it's fine.
Right.
And De'Aaron missed another. I don't even think he took. He might have taken a 3. It might have been a long 2. But De'Aaron, got the clock down to 5 seconds, took a shot. They missed and wound up the way that it wound up.
Yeah. No, I think
you need more from your second best player in that spot. Yeah. That's what it came down to.
I just think the adjustments weren't there, and it can be. At some point, you have to put on your big boy pants as a player and make the adjustments on the court yourself. It can't all be about what's happening, with your coaching staff at the moment. And look, I'm not saying that Mike Brown wasn't coaching, because he was, but if they go with 5 shooters and Domantas Sabonis races down on the defensive end and goes down in the post, you're done. You're cooked. It's over. The possession's over. They're moving too quick. They're down too many points. They're coming right down and firing, and no one is guarding somebody. Somebody's wide open because your big ran down waiting for another big man to go fight him in the post.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to. And then again, we didn't see some of the adjustments on the offensive end, or again, Sabonis in that situation, go down on the block, get all the way down on the block and just dominate them.
It's not what they do.
But it's also, it's not even what Sabonis didn't even try that. It's not that he failed to go down and go post up. He didn't even go try. And it's like the mindset didn't shift, that they went small, and the way to beat a small team is to do this, and this. Like when a team goes into a zone, and the Kings tried that for 2 seconds, and it was like, oh, no, no, what are we doing here? When a team goes into a zone, Domantas Sabonis knows the first thing to do is run to the free throw line, put his hands up, and destroy the zone. Like, he's a zone breaker. But in this situation, they didn't catch on to what the Suns were doing. The pace got frenetic and out of control.
Yep.
The fans were fully involved. It became like a hostile environment where you're watching a lead slip away. They have the moment where Fox is yelling at one official and Domas is yelling at another, and a guy goes right down for a wide open dunk on the other end. And Kevin Huerter's like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, so there were like some mental breakdowns. But I was telling Kyle, these are games that you can learn from. You can't learn from the Philadelphia game. You can't learn from losing to bad teams.
Well, at some point, like, you can learn from something, but at some point you've got to execute it.
That's
right. If I learned, I learned chemistry, I can't execute it. You've got to be able to execute what you learn, and that's why Mike's press conference. It's funny. It's haha. The screen. Hey, give me the video. Let's show the video. That's fine. Privately, you had to have a completely different discussion with your team privately.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that I'm gonna take the fine for that, but I need everybody to see what we're dealing with.
Yep.
You in this locker room, you need to make free throws and stop turning the goddamn ball over in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that right there, they didn't learn. How many turnovers in the fourth quarter yesterday? More turnovers in the fourth quarter yesterday than the entire game.
Yeah, and Domas had he missed a free throw in crunch time. With like 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left.
So if you're not executing, are you really learning? Like, what did you really learn from the Bucks game at this point?
Yeah, but I would say that's one game. That's one game to the next. That's a 3-day stretch.
That should be the freshest. If I cram for a test the night before, that's my best shot at passing. Now, if the test is a week away, man, I might have forgot something on the way. A new song came out. I memorized those lyrics. God knows how long I was on TikTok. I was tweeting. I was watching games. I might have forgotten what I studied. It was 2 nights later, and they couldn't execute in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's becoming a problem for this team.
Yeah.
It's not becoming a problem. It is a problem.
8 turnovers in the fourth quarter, 6 the rest of the game.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Really bad.
My bigger concern is getting just mollywopped by people. Like, stop getting thumped. I'd much rather see this where you can actually use the game footage. The other ones where this team doesn't show up, those are way more concerning to me. And I get it. They need to be better, but you need to be better the fifth game of a 5-game road trip. That you need to be better, like, against 3 really good teams. I get that, but at the same time, like, I would prefer a tight game that you found a new way to lose over not showing up, which this team has done way too many times this year.
Yeah, I guess.
At least they showed up. They just didn't show up in the last 5 minutes.
Well, it's great. All right. Hey, participation trophy.
Yeah.
If you're a team that wants to win games, if you just want to show up and not be the 2019 or 2020 Kings, well, fine. I'm all for it. But if you had the nerve to talk about playoffs in training camp, you had the nerve to talk about championships, being a contender in training camp. You've moved the bar a little bit for yourself. Now, if you want to backtrack, that's fine. Backtrack. But at this point, I'm not applauding them for not being for not being the 2019 Kings anymore.
Yeah, they're better than that.
Oh yeah,
gotta be.
All right. Anyways,
standing on business.
That's what they're gonna do next on D'Lo and KC. We've been the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube.